And we're live. Welcome everyone to the Footy Talk show. Um, we're only at episode 4 for Footy Talk. We've been away for a bit, but thanks for those who are tuning in. We would like to go through a few things here today. We will be covering the matches that were on yesterday, eventually. And then we will be going into also previews of the upcoming matches for match week 3. It's match week 3 right now. And with that, we have one generic topic that we're going to go into, which is Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez and how he moved on from Barca to Athletico, and whether that is something that is good for his career, for football, and how it happened. We'll talk about that too. But first and foremost, let me introduce our panel speakers today. We've got Mr. Mark Anthony, who is one of the diehard Manchester United fans that I know. But also a man who loves football. Yeah, he just loves football, and he's gone around Europe and to some of the and watch football in Europe and to some of the stadiums and all those kind of things. And so, thank you for joining us, Mr. Mark Anthony.
Welcome. Thank you for having me here.
And we've got Mr. Arvin Sidhu, who is another man from the official Leeds United Supporters Club in Malaysia. So thank you again, Arvin, for joining us. Leeds are really making some noise. They're making some waves in the Premier League right now, and man, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So thank you for joining us, Arvin. We've got Dave B, the one and only from the Reds Jungs Negeri Sembilan, the Liverpool Supporters Club in Negeri Sembilan. Thank you again for joining us with great insights. Of course, we're looking forward. And we finally got Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom, my buddy for so long, who actually has his own football or sports page online, Ultra Jungs, who is a friend of Karami's. If you guys been watching the previous shows, he's a very hard guy to convince to get on the show. So thank you very much, Mr. Tom, for joining us today. We're waiting on Hafiz and Vinod, I think, having some technical issues. Hafiz is a loyal and hardcore fan of Arsenal. And we've got Vinod, who's another Man United supporter. These are all teams that are making waves today, so we really want to talk about them. So yeah, I already see all the predictions. Kishan's coming up with Leeds. We haven't even started, and we've got these Leeds to win later 3-0. This guy is always high on something. Bamford, Clich, please score. This is fantasy football he's talking about. Josiah is saying, come on, Sena, be nice to Arvin. We are always nice. I'm always nice. Josiah, you know that. I'm always nice. Wei Liang, also march on. Thanks, Wei Liang, for watching. We had Wei Liang on the previous show. Anyway, before we get into it, let's see. There's a lot of comments kicking in. Question for Vino and Mark. With 120 million, Sancho and Teles change for United?
No.
Let's go off topic and just answer the question right now.
I think we need to spend more on the defense. You can see from yesterday's game.
Then why are they going for these big names? Are they panicking and they're thinking that they need big names in the middle and up front to solve their problems? Is that it?
To me, Sancho will be a good buy because he's still young and he gets along well with Rashford. So there'll be a good combo there. But the sad part, Greenwood will not get much game time. So if Sancho comes in. but we also take on the pressure from him himself. So maybe it might be good, it might be bad. But I still think we need to spend on defense. You can see yesterday's game, Lindelof is nowhere near. He made so many mistakes.
Lindelof, Vinod is the president of the Malaysian Lindelof fan club. So Vinod, do you want to say something about that?
He should be out from United. I mean, I don't know how does he still start after the first game. And
Yeah.
if Solskjaer is continuing to start him, sends out super long message. You got Bailey back there, Tuanzebe. Needs to be changed.
Yeah, I think
But
Bailey should have
Lindelof seems
started
to be
yesterday's
his
game.
baby person. Regardless, he does 20 mistakes, 20 penalties he gives away. He'll be starting week in, week out.
Yeah.
It sends a long message out. I mean, if Lindelof starts, very simple. Why should I even perform much? End of the day, I'm still getting paid. Marketing perspective is there. I will not be out from the first 11.
True. Yeah.
So what would drive the
Right.
players to be giving their best week in and week out?
Yeah. I think Bailey should have started yesterday's game instead of Lindelof.
Yep. We'll get into Manchester United's performance later on the match yesterday. Tom, you've got your buddy here, our buddy here, Karami Kamel. You look like a United fan. Why are you wearing a Liverpool jersey?
First of all,
don't be jealous, lah. You're delusional, Karami.
regarding the Lindelof, right? So, as a Liverpool fan, I would like to say that I want you guys to extend the Lindelof contract for another 5 years. That will be good. And then for Kid, yeah, I'm look like a United fan, but I will never be a United fan. I'm always be a Liverpool fan. Thank you.
In your face,
Can
Karami.
actually, I think, Tom, we can actually say that he has just lost it. He is not the Lindelof that maybe United fan have seen, but he's just lost. He's just lost in transition. He's off position. He's just causing a lot of issues. Not in sync with Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is another issue that United need to sort out. I think defensively, United need to have a commanding leader. You need a commanding leader. And as Vinod said, there is no leadership in United. So they have to sort this out. Even before you are going to pump in a crazy Sancho fee, you can back, anyone can back United for a crazy Sancho fee, but you need to sort out the harmony, the unity in the team. You need to get back into track, man. Seriously, I tell you. So there's a lot of things psychologically that you need to resolve before getting into the game itself or the business itself.
Understood. Nick, I hope that answers your concerns or that question that you brought up earlier, Nick. We wish you on the show, so I hope that makes it clear. Karami is saying that Tom has got a Cantona and Beckham jersey. To be honest, I've got a Beckham jersey as well. England jersey. I've got an England jersey. And Cantona's a gangster in football, so why not, right? Like, why not? If we all watch KL Gangster, he's the equivalent of, Tai Long in football. So, all right. So, we're gonna get into the previews. So, the first preview that we're going to get into right now is pretty much the first match that is on for today at 7 p.m. I guess, which Mr. Arvin is going to be leaving us early to watch and prepare and watch that game. Sheffield versus Leeds. So yeah, let's just get into it. Arvin, do you wanna tell us how much are you anticipating this match actually?
A Yorkshire derby is always something that us Leeds fans will look forward to one way or the other. If it's Hull, if it's Sheffield United, if it's Doncaster, a Yorkshire derby has bragging rights for us. So it's something that we will always look forward to. There's a bit of history with Chris Wilder and Marcelo Bielsa from 2 years ago. Chris Wilder came out and said some pretty disparaging remarks about Leeds and
really?
Bielsa at that time. So Leeds, he wasn't really happy because at that time the focus was not on Sheffield United, no matter how well they were doing. The focus was a lot about Leeds throwing it away from the automatic promotion.
Yeah.
So Chris Wilder came on and gave an interview and said, I don't get what all this fuss is about Leeds. We've been winning. The headlines should be about us. So that happened 2 years ago. That was actually my first time at Ellen Road. We lost 1-0 to Sheffield United at Ellen Road, but we beat them away at Bramall Lane. This derby is the first time in the Premier League since 1994. So we haven't played them in the Premier League for at least 26 years. As a Leeds fan, you're right when you said you started the show. We've been making a lot of noise. We've been playing a lot of exciting football. But Bielsa, as much as he's an advocate for attacking, exciting, pressing football, he wouldn't have liked the first two games because for him, game management and keeping a clean sheet or keeping the score down is very, very important to him. Last season in the Championship, Leeds were top of clean sheets and the least goals conceded. So for me, looking forward to this game. It's gonna be a real rivalry, but I would prefer if it's just a 1-0 or 2-1 because Leeds need to start game management, the proceedings a bit better than the first two games. As exciting the first two games have been.
Yep. I think I totally agree there. I think even though it's only been 2 games, I think Bielsa is getting the real picture. He's really getting the real picture there, and he's definitely, like what you say, he's definitely going to look into what's next. And I think he's a manager that catches on really fast.
Yep.
The way you look at how he analyzes matches, I don't think I can think of a lot of Premier League managers that do not look and analyze games the way he does. They take it a bit more for granted simply because I do not know, because they've probably been there too long. They've probably seen it. They probably played it. But I look at the way and I really admire how he really puts in his effort and really, he really looks into it and he really looks at what he's missing or what are the angles that he really needs to focus on for the team. And match management certainly is something that you guys really need to do. And I just realized it's going to be the Yorkshire Derby after 19 years. Like, wow.
20, in the Premier League, it's 26 years. But of course, in the Championship, we played 2 years ago. The last time we were in the Premier League was
26
1994.
years? Gee, wow.
Yeah, in the Premier League. But of course, in the Championship, we played each other 2 years
you
ago.
definitely played. Sheffield there.
Yeah.
I do think Josiah here saying that it's not going to be easy. Enough of this reverse psychology lah. You all are playing good football. Be confident a bit. And but I really think Leeds is taking the Premier League by surprise, by storm. I think a lot of people didn't see this coming. When we had the show before Premier League kickoff started, I think we had the Cop Talk show and we talked about the Leeds Liverpool first day, the opening match or opening night. It was spot on. It was really spot on, and it was going to be really high.
I expected that, Sena, actually.
Sorry, say again.
From them, I expected that from Leeds. A storm start.
Right, so we all kind of, we all kind of expected it, and it was really highly intense, and the kind of football that Leeds played is really something else. Yeah, Josiah had a dream that it was going to be 2-0 at halftime. Well, there were 2 goals, so. It was a good game. Like I said, Leeds United is not a team that to be taken for granted. They are playing with a lot of heart. So we know if a team does not play with such great big names, they've got a good manager who really puts his effort in the team, his time and effort to the game, and the players who play with a lot of heart. We just look at what Leicester City did when they won the league that season. That's what it was. They've got a manager who just focuses his best, even though he may just be an average manager. But players, the entire roster giving their heart and soul to the team. You never know. Like I said, we predicted I think Dave, did we predict like Leeds was going to finish between 9 to 11? If they keep this
No,
up,
I said it's top 6.
yeah. So Dave said top 6. So you really never know. But I
Yep.
think the game management is going to be important. Mark, any reactions to this?
Yeah. I feel they are very good. They are playing much better than United's playing. And yeah, I think today's game, look at them. I also underestimate Sheffield. They played very well last season. So I think both of them go for it. Yeah.
Yep. Izol, do you wanna say something?
No, nothing much. I will say that I will go for Leeds to win.
Leeds to win. Scoreline?
2-0, I think.
2-0, huh? Quite straight up.
Yeah.
Quite straight up, eh? Okay. Vinod?
I think Sheffield might pull off a winner. I mean, they're coming back from 5 straight defeats, we know it, but they need to kickstart their season and playing at home, Bremer Lane. A close game, either a draw 1-1 or a 1-0 victory to Sheffield.
Typical Manchester United fan when you're commenting on Leeds United. Typical. Such typical.
No, I mean, Leeds, they've been playing good, fantastic, but then Sheffield has been quite tight the last 2 games too. So I don't think so. They are going to be pressing forward much. They'll be at the back. So Leeds might have some difficulties there. So I'm expecting a close game. If it's not a close game, a super easy win for Leeds.
Super easy.
Yes, either one.
Josiah is also not with you right there. Arvind, what do you have to say in response to a rival fan club fan right there, a rival football club fan right there?
Okay, so I agree from the assessment that Sheffield United has been on. If you look at their record of the last 15 games, even before COVID, the last season, it's not been great, and eventually they will need to get themselves out of that scenario. They'll be missing their top defender, John Egan. John Egan is suspended from the red card from the previous game, so they'll be missing him. But you're right, anything can happen when it's a derby. Form kind of goes out the window. Bremer Lane is a very old ground. It's an intimidating place. So anything can happen. I'm not saying that. I just feel that the Leeds players are technically better than what Sheffield United have. And they are quite on a run right now from the first 2 games that they will kind of eke the result out tonight, right? But back to what we were talking about earlier, and this is just from a perspective of an outsider, not a United fan. When we talked about the need for Lindelof, the need for Maguire, need for new investment in that defense, and I watch a lot of United games and I see the mistakes that United are having, but how much money was spent on these players? Maguire was an 80 plus, Maguire was an 80 plus million pound defender. Lindelof was 40 plus. Wan-Bissaka was close to 45. So when you look at Ed Woodward and the board, you're thinking to yourself, we've spent so much of money already on the defense. Why should we trust giving more money to this scenario when they haven't been able to get their errors out of the way? So when I see a lot of hate, a lot of bad press that goes to Ed Woodward and the board, I get it. They take a long time for transfers. But the board has spent money on that defense. Let's not take anything away from it, right?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I just feel Ole and staffing needs to coach them and get them better playing and get the mistakes out of them, just from a perspective of an outsider.
I mean, okay, if you're looking from that perspective, let's just look at defense perspective. He likes to start Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire. 2 fullbacks who runs fast and 2 centre backs with no speed, no pace. Tactically, they are already open. And your defensive mid.
But whose fault was it to get those buys? Who sanctioned those buys?
I mean, you look at those. I mean, it goes back to Ed Woodward and the coaches, because Lindelof was a buy from Mourinho's time. Maguire was asked by Solskjaer. So they are eventually trying to put all their best, their highest signing players in a first 11, giving them chance week in and week out. So it's true. I mean, you can really see that the whole transfer business, the getting of the players, the scouts, the whole system has failed because we are not getting the right players. We are just spending money to spend. We
Agreed.
bought Lindelof off after Lindelof had a good season in the Champions League with Benfica. But we just trusting him in one season, we took him off. Maguire was just based on a performance in World Cup and with his performance as Leicester. But you look at the Leicester's defense, he came back with there was a leader there. You had Casper, you had Johnny Evans. The same thing we don't have in United. There's no leadership. All these defenders are lost. Bisaka is good. Shaw is good, but there's no one commanding the back line. So regardless you spend how much, you need to bring in a leader. You need to bring in someone. Years ago, remember Ferguson brought in Laurent Blanc, was a free transfer, 36 years old. But he managed to spearhead the defense. You need someone to control that. That is what is missing with United now. It's not about spending. You can spend big, but you need to get the right players in, and from there you build. So that is
Yeah, and I
what
feel
lacking in this current team.
And I feel the guys not vocal enough and doesn't command their defense. If you see yesterday's game, so many times on the right hand side, it was always empty place. They kept attacking on the right, and you could see a goal was going to come from there, and it did come from there. So nobody was taking care of for the right hand side, and you can't blame Van Bissaka because he was kept being pulled in by another striker. So there's no one to command the defense. Okay, watch the right. There's someone's coming in, and I think about 4 or 5 times they had so much dangerous crosses or even strikes or goal from the right.
Yep. So we'll get into the United match later. When we do the review. I think we've got the head-to-head here, which is seemingly looking like I think Leeds are ahead by an edge with a draw. I think 2 wins and a draw. But then again, those were home wins. So based on the statistics, I suppose this is very much looking like it's going to be somewhat of a draw. So I would like to, based on the statistics right there, I think Vinod, perhaps you might be spot on. It might be a draw, or Sheffield might be edging it because it looks like historically the winner of this match seems to be coming from the home team. So Arvid, no offense, I'm just looking at the statistics. I'm pretty sure that we might see some surprises here today. And well, you never know. So let's go with Dave. Anything you want to say?
Right, blunt blade. So Sheffield United are the only Premier League team yet to score this season. So I think Chris Wilder will use this opportunity to get these boys fired up for the Yorkshire Derby. So I think, like Arvind said, the Yorkshire Derby is just about something about like any other derbies. So they have to get started. They have to get a kickstart for their season. So the goals have to come in. So a home match against Leeds United, right? It's the right time for them to prove that they can actually get a good start. They need a goal. They need to regroup. They need to start getting points to survive. I mean, if you don't, off you go, Premier League. So my prediction for the game will be a Sheffield United win.
Wow.
I'm gonna go for a high score win, probably 3-2 or 4-3.
Wow.
Because Leeds United are actually capable of scoring more than 3 goals. They have a very good forward line, and they just boom the moment they start. So if they can sort out their defense, I think Leeds United could get a point over here. But I think it's going to be a good start for Chris Wilder. He has to start picking up points. So because they are yet to score this season, so I'm going to go for a 3-2. Just 3-2, for Sheffield United.
Okay. All right. All right. Anything you guys want to add about this game before we move on to Spurs Newcastle? Nope. I guess let's get into. Good luck, Arvin, with Leeds tonight. I'll be rooting for Leeds. They are a team that I waited so long, for them to get back to the Premier League. Even though I'm not I'm a Liverpool fan, but Leeds just simply belongs in the Premier League. It's been quite a ride that they have not been there, but for them to come back to where they are today, it's amazing. So I really wish you guys all the best for the rest of the season as well. And
Thank you.
and I think you guys are going to do great. Like what Karami said over there, it's probably too early to tell, but I do think Bielsa is really looking at match management. So if he can get that right, I think you guys will be there for the long run. You will be consistent for the long run. There will be dips in performance, but I do think you guys will do great. So let's get into the next one here, which is Spurs versus Newcastle. So I Spurs has been they have been truly phenomenal, haven't they? They have been truly phenomenal, and I think there was that video about where I think Mika Richards, I think was it Mika Richards, and he kind of said Mika Richards said that when he first played against Gareth Bale, they were both playing I think left back or left wing back or something, and he felt that he was such a chump, an amateur chump, and it was a piece of cake. But then years later, when he played him again at Spurs, he was this different player altogether. He was so fast, so strong, so quick that Mika Richards, he was running around him in circles, and he just could not keep up the entire game. And then he left and went on to Real. And Mika Richards kind of said that if um, Gareth Bale still has half of that flair that he had in that first game that Mika Richards played, he said that Spurs are going to do well. And I do think that going into this season, I think a lot of fans were not really worried about Spurs, especially because the whole Christian Eriksen thing. They just can't seem to be getting it right, and I just think that Mourinho is doing this complete overhaul of how they used to play, I guess, and there are some clashes and stuff like that with people in the team. I think there's some saga going on with Dele Alli. Um, However, I do think now with Bale there, it's again the missing piece of the puzzle is there. So I do think that Spurs are going to do quite well this season. They might take everyone by surprise. They might even, I mean, I'm just going to say it right now. They might be challenging for the title, you guys. That is my take. And on today's game, I think it's a straightforward win for Spurs. I think they're going to win it easy. I'm not going to expect one mad scoreline, but then again, I've always been wrong about that. But I'm just going to go with maybe a 2-0 or an easy 2-1. They might slip a little bit or lose focus, but yeah, 2-0, 2-1 for me. That's the scoreline. Maybe Bale scoring both, eh? Anyone wanna take this one? Since Arvin might be leaving, Arvin, do you wanna give?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Bale is still out for I think about 3 or 4 weeks.
He's out for the month, right?
Yeah, I know, he's not there. If he can miraculously play today, though, I've checked the lineup, hoping that he's there. He's still not named. They said that I just checked it, and they said that he's confirmed there. So
yeah, the point is, but you're right. I mean, the signing of Bale kind of revitalized the whole club because they've gotten back their son per se, who went away to Madrid for 7 years and came back. When we look at the front three in the Premier League, obviously the Liverpool front three is in my opinion the best still. But then when you look at putting in Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, and Gareth Bale, it's actually up there with the others, with the Liverpool front three, and probably better than a couple of others. The Chelsea one will take a bit of time. The United one on their day are very devastating, but these three players are literally almost world-class players. So with Mourinho, and he's got Matt Doherty on right back, he's got Sergei Reguilon, he's bought on left back from Madrid. So Mourinho has been backed in this transfer market, and I think it's very exciting times for Spurs, really. Like you said, they will feel confident going into this game against Newcastle. Newcastle are pretty up and down. 1 minute they will lose, the next minute they'll win with Steve Bruce. But Spurs fans have a lot of reason to be excited for the next couple of weeks, especially when they are fully equipped. Right? It's a strong team. So now it's all up to Mourinho to just let them go and play. No negative football, just let them go and play.
Well, what do you think? What do you think about Mourinho's style of play, though? You know that he intentionally wants to disrupt flows of football, right? Where actually fans love to just watch football and at its best. Like that is why Leeds United needs to be in the Premier League. Leeds just plays two-way football, like you freaking attack or you freaking defend, right?
Yeah.
That's football for me at its best, right? No matter the result at the end of 90 minutes. But Mourinho's got this thing about how he's going to be, disrupting plays. He's got this annoying kind of styles that he has.
Yeah.
So do you think even with the addition of Aguilon and even with Bale right now up front, do you think he's already annoying some players there, and that's not a thing. So what do you think about that?
That's the thing with Mourinho. It's so funny, right? When we remember him in his first spell with Chelsea, he would never come out and trash any of his players. He used to defend them like crazy. But as years went on, he became very grumpy. At Madrid, he was fighting with Iker Casillas. Then when he came back to Chelsea again, he had issues. Now he's fighting with Tanguy Ndombele. He's a bit different from the Mourinho from a couple of years ago. Even at United, he was lashing out at players. So it's a very different Mourinho now. I think he feels when he looks at Klopp and Guardiola, they are managers that have surpassed him. They are more the modern developing managers, and he's still that old school thought of, I don't want to lose. I'd rather defend, and if I get a goal, I'm happy. If I get one or two, I'm okay. I'm not paid to entertain you. I'm paid to win. So I think Mourinho has become I think football has kind of passed him by. But as a football fan, I really hope he just lets his players go and attack, because he's got the players now. Kane, Son, Lucas Moura. He's got players that can go and play. He just needs to allow them. But he always wants to, defend first, and then if I win, I win. But I don't want to lose, kind of a manager.
Yeah, exactly right. So, Izul, do you wanna comment on that, please? I do not want Vinod and Mark to just get into the ex-manager right here.
Yeah.
But let's get Tom Izul to say a few words here.
All right. For me, I will disagree with you, Sina. I don't think Spurs gonna excel for this season.
Woo.
So I would say that even the arrival of Bale also will not gonna affect them. So for me, I think like we said before, that is Mourinho is a very old school style, so that he will prefer to defend and then try to get a good one or two goals. Then it should be enough for him. So that kind of football is, for the modern football, is not what we call it. It's already old, and we cannot it cannot cope to the current football, which is more fast. And also we will right now we already use a defensive midfield as a defense, and then we use a fullback to go for attack, right? So for the Newcastle, I would say that it's still an average team. So since the Saudi prince is cannot get into that team, then I would say that the team will be the same as last season. And Steve Bruce as well is a defensive manager. So I would go for a draw, the 0-0 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
0-0, huh? Okay, interesting. I'm going to give Mark a throw at this right now.
Okay. For today's one, I think most probably a Spurs win, but probably be like a 2-1 or 1-0.
Yeah,
It
somehow
all depends.
feels
It all depends on how Newcastle plays them. Yeah, if they give Kane and Son too much of space in the front, then it could be a 3 or 4. As Kane is on form now, we got his passes last week, and Son is also on form. So it all depends on how it works out for them. So I think it'll either be a 2-1 or 3-1 to Spurs. Hello?
I think me and Mark can agree on a lot of things. I don't know why, but we kind of see. I don't know. Maybe we are from a different time of football, I guess.
Yeah.
Dave, take a word at this. Spurs versus Newcastle.
So I think the Premier League finally got to see the Son and Kane partnership finally got off and running. So it's a very good news for Mourinho actually. With Gareth Bale is off injured, and like Arvin said that they would form a best front three in the Premier League in the coming games or coming weeks or coming months when eventually Gareth Bale gets into the front three or just behind the front three. Um, this is going to be a very interesting Mourinho side for Steve Bruce. They are just hubs and eels for Newcastle at the moment. This is a very straightforward game that I don't see Newcastle getting any points or even getting a point. Um, it's going to be an easy win for Spurs. So I'm going to go for 3-0 or 3-1 Spurs.
Last but not least, Mr. Vinod.
Easy win for Spurs, 2-0. But I predicted them.
I like all of us to just point at Mr. Izol right there, like Izol, like why are we not seeing eye to eye? Sorry, we not go on.
Okay, I mean, Spurs was my top 4 prediction, so I guess they will remain the same. But with Bale coming in, you're going to have the best front three. Previously, Spurs attacks.
Not exactly the best. Not yet. Not just yet.
Okay, one of the best. One of the best.
I'll give more credit to the United front three. See, at this point, lah, let him prove himself first, lah. He's not so
No.
simple.
Okay, why I would say would be one of the best three because with Bale coming in, it takes off a lot of pressure from Kane. We saw in the last game when Kane was able to drop deep and let Son run free. So imagine the defense have to track back Son and Bale, and with Kane dropping deep. And when Kane is on top, you got 3% to man mark. So it will be a bit unpredictable, but knowing Mourinho, he will not go for free-flowing football. He's going to be more on counter-attacking. He's going to keep the games very tight. But the most crucial point would be how is he going to keep Bale fit? You're looking back at the schedule, which is given now till end of the year. Most teams which are in Europe easily plays 2 games a week. So with Bale's records with injuries in the past, can he keep them fit? Can he keep him fit with a question mark? But for this game, Spurs easily 2-0 win. I don't see any threat coming from Newcastle because Newcastle also has been quite shady lately.
Really? Easy win there. So I'm just gonna go back. I'm just gonna go back to Tom. Do you have anything you want to say? Considering you're the only one who's got a different so he will make for good point of view actually. What do you want to say?
All right. So because like you say that the Spurs going to use a 3 men in front, right? So they're going to be something like Liverpool or Manchester United for this season. So what is the most important thing by using a 4-3-3 is your defensive midfield. So by the time you go for an attack, so you need your fullback to follow you as well. So the defensive midfielder as an anchor man is a very important role to make sure that it will happen. So for me, I don't see any Spurs player that can be someone like Thiago or even Pogba, so that we can for them to do any counter attack. So because here we have a United fan, so I have to talk about Pogba, or else I will pick someone else, and then for because of that, then I don't think Spurs gonna have a good season for this season. Even for the defensive team like Newcastle, so you need to break from the right hand side, and on the left hand side, you need a great defensive midfielder. So that is, I think, something missing from the Spurs team. So I will still with 0-0.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting take. Anyone wanna do a rebuttal?
I want to counter that.
Yes, go for it.
Okay, I don't think so. Pogba is a good example. I would either ship him out from United and get Sissoko or Hojbjerg in replacement from Spurs. I mean, the central midfield of, if you look for Spurs, are quite tight, uptight. They don't move much. Sissoko and Hojbjerg, they just control that, they don't move. So you see Rick Russo, big defense, a bit attacking minded, but also tracks back. So Kane, if you realize, has developed his play to more a complete forward. He's dropping off, not only sitting on the box. So Mourinho has made them a bit more solid. They will have a problem and they want to break teams that likes to sit back, because they are playing on counter football. If you look at the Europa League, which they had in the qualifying, they were just sitting down, not scoring goals. Only when they were losing by 1-0, the last 15 minutes, they went all out. So it might backfire them.
I just
But
wanted
they
to.
do have but I do feel they have a good central midfielder.
Yeah, they do. I just wanted to point out that for now, with Newcastle going into this match, it's been. I've just read that Callum Wilson has not scored against Spurs in some 500 plus minutes.
Yes.
With that being said, I don't think I really think the stacks are up against Newcastle here, and while Tom thinks that the stacks are not with Spurs, the odds are not with Spurs either. I think they're also not with Newcastle at the moment. If you're going to go for a draw, perhaps that's a fair assumption. If Newcastle somehow win this, Tom, we all owe you a drink. I do think that that's going to be quite interesting to see. All right, so we're going to go into the next match here, which is City and Leicester. Leicester City as well. Man City, Leicester City. City versus City. That's going to be this is going to be quite a cracker. I think it's going to be quite a cracker, this game. Quite a lot at stake here for both teams. If anything other than a fair result where the points are shared, I think it's going to look pretty. It's going to put either the losing team on a slippery surface. I think because while many seasons ago this may not have been looked at as such a fixture, but this is this is not something that is taken lightly anymore. So Arvin's about to leave, so maybe Arvin, just quickly your take on this game before you leave us.
It's going to be fun. Both the teams, like Brendan Rodgers, Pep Guardiola, they both like to take it to the opponent. So I honestly feel there will be goals in this game. City have got a few injuries though. Pep has come out and said Aguero is not fit, still not fit. Jesus is still not fit. They don't have a recognized striker, but then Raheem Sterling will play in that role. Kevin De Bruyne, is starting the season on form. So just on that basis, I believe City will edge this out. But again, it's going to be an entertaining game for this one. For the
all right, prediction.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. City to win. City, I still don't think are good enough to keep clean sheets yet. That I know they are out for another centre back, so probably 3-1 to Man
Okay.
City.
All right. Fair one. Thanks for joining us, Arvin, and good luck. My best regards to the whole gang at the official Leeds United Supporters Club, Malaysia. I hope you guys are building up, and we look forward to keep having you guys on these shows. We'll catch up soon. So thank you for joining us on such short notice. We'll prepare earlier and promote the show earlier now that we know that we've got good people that are willing to join the show. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your insights. Have fun. Good luck today. 3 points
Take
in
care,
the bag.
guys. Take care, guys. I'll chat with you all soon, okay?
See you.
Bye.
Bye. So Arvin has left us right there. Do you got Mark? Do you want to take a whack at this? The noisy neighbors. You're on mute, Mark.
All right. Okay. So I think it's gonna be quite a tough game as you look at both teams. They have injuries to a lot of players. City has a lot of Jesus injured, Aguero is injured, but Leicester also has NDD that is injured. He's quite an important player for them also. So for me, I would say it could be 2-1 to City. Because somehow City still is but they're still a bit above Leicester in terms of the players that they have on the bench and everything. And yeah, so
do you think that, maybe
2-1 to City? Yeah.
So you think that there's nothing up Brendan Rodgers' sleeves to help Leicester City at all?
Well, you never know. I think could be 2-1 or 2-2, but I don't think they can beat City. I think it's 2-1 or 2-2.
All right. Dave, what's your take on this?
I've watched Wolverhampton and City played a week ago. I was quite impressed with Man City, the way they play, the organization, the way they get the goals, but they're still having an issue with the defensive line. So if 2 seasons ago, if you see, if I'm not mistaken, Crystal Palace just pulled off a shocking win at Etihad. So why not? If Leicester City gets their tacticals right tonight, and Brendan Rodgers gets his game plan right tonight, so he could come back home with a 3 points. So, but for me, still City has an edge over this game, despite all the injuries that they have. I would go for a score draw or a surprise from Leicester City.
That's pretty interesting because I mean, looking at some of the stats here, that City have been leading 2-0 at halftime in their last 6 Premier League matches, making it really impossible for any other team to really come and stop them. And Gabriel Jesus, although I think he's doubtful or completely a doubt, I think he's completely a doubt, right, Jesus?
Yeah.
So on the other side, he has been one guy that always scores against Leicester City. So he's going to be out. So these are pretty interesting stats to see that actually what it takes for City to actually pull off the win may not actually be in their favor, going into tonight's match. On paper, they do look like they are the stronger team, very obvious. But it does seem that way, that there might really be an upset, you guys. I don't know. I do think that they just might be an upset. What do you think here, Vinod?
I'm going for an upset.
Really?
Yeah, I think Leicester might nick it out 3-1.
That's not an upset. That's like that's not an upset. That's like completely, one side right there.
That's comfortable win, Vinod.
No. It will be
Football
3-1
fan, I think it's
uncomfortable
2-1.
win. 1-1, score tight, they might score 2-1, late 80s, sit deep, score 1 the last 90 minutes, 3-1.
But
Okay,
as a United fan, I've been rooting for City to win, unless
I
City win
mean,
the game.
basically, City defense is still not there yet. There's some issues with their defense. And Leiciter's attack for the last 2 games has been quite good, so they might take this opportunity there. And in the bench, Guardiola doesn't have much options. He only has 13 fit players. So if the Sterling thing doesn't work up front, your choice of striker is your academy players. He doesn't have much options there. So if Leicester is able to capitalize on that, go at them, have a good goal, attack, you leave Guardiola with very less options. Because he doesn't have many to change the games for him after that. So I foresee, based on stats wise, City has not lost a home game in Premier League for God knows years. They have, if you look at the last 11 home matches, they've been winning all. Their stats runs at 26 goals, only 1 conceded. But I feel Leicester might do an upset and create their own history for this game. We saw last year how Man City was dropping points at home. I think the virus will continue this season too.
It's becoming a pandemic by itself. Izul, your take, please.
I have to disagree with Vinod and Dave about this, and I agree with Mark. So for me, Pep Guardiola is the best manager right now, even
Not Klopp.
for the Klopp. I think even I'm a fan of a Klopp. That I have to say this, that Pep Guardiola, in terms of tactical, he is better than Jurgen Klopp. So, and then for as far as I know, I haven't been through the stats, but I will say as far as I remember that every top 4 game, City usually will win, except against Liverpool. So I think for this game also will be not will be no exception. So I would say that City will win 2-0, but I hope the result will be opposite.
Okay. So I guess we are split for this match. So I guess this is a match that we all should look forward to and watch later. So we've got a few other games, but I just want to go back to what Vinod said. Do you think Raheem Sterling is actually a player that City can look forward to if their key players are not there? Do you think Raheem Sterling is enough for them to just get pushed through and sneak away with 3 points?
He's not an upfront forward. He's a team player, yes. He makes those good runs, but you need someone to play alongside him. So if you're going at the formation that most likely they'll be starting tomorrow, the front four will be Sterling, De Bruyne, supported by Bernardo and Mahrez. It is not Mahrez like to cut in, same to Bernardo. So, and that is also Sterling's specialties. He comes in, he supports, he doesn't read the line. So he's good, but not in the current position where you're going to put him. So he's not your 100% game changer, to be exact. In this time, KDB yes, but not Sterling. Sterling can play the supporting, so because you can see his goals. He doesn't score crackers, but he makes the fine lines. He makes sure there's space for people to run in or cut in. That is where I think Guardiola knows how to use him. So that is because if you look at how Southgate uses him for England and Guardiola uses him for Man City, you can see 2 different Sterlings that we are looking at. At City, Sterling knows how to make that run. He knows where to be, where I need to be. But you don't see the same Sterling with England. He seems to be lost when you put him up playing just at the back of Kane. So end of the day is the coaching and the tactics. But to lead the front line, I still don't think he's the best player for City.
All right. Okay. I think that's an interesting take. Mark, do you have any final words on Raheem Sterling?
Raheem Sterling, yeah, he has improved a lot since he went to City under Guardiola. But for him to lead the line alone, nah, yeah, like what you said, need someone to support him there.
Okay, all right. I guess again we are just not conclusive here. It's not really convincing that we're gonna have any winner tonight. But let's all watch and see what happens. So let's get into the next one here. I think another cracker here: West Ham versus Wolves. Wolves away to West Ham. West Ham home. So. Um, Mr. Nuno Espirito Santo. So that guy is like one guy that is so resilient. He's so resilient in the ways that he manages the team, how he riles up the boys. I've been reading a lot about the journey that he has taken the whole club has embarked on under his guidance, and I think there's a lot more to come from Wolves. Um, what do you guys think about this match? Is it going to be a stalemate, or are Wolves going to nick it? I think Wolves might just nick it. Maybe I think it's going to be one goal, maybe a 1-0 to Wolves or a 2-1 to Wolves. There's going to be one goal in it. That's my take. Mr. Tom Izol, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Sena, that Wolf gonna win it for 1-0. So currently West Ham also is not very good. They have lost 2 matches. So and then I'm also think that the Wolf is the way that they play is quite fast, and then it's not gonna suit West Ham to defend very well. So I will agree with you. Maybe he can Wolf can sneak in and can get 3 points by the end of the day.
Okay. Let's hear it from Dave.
I think it's going to be a very tough match for West Ham United because they are searching for their first 3 points of the season, and of course they are facing a very dangerous Wolverhampton side, and if they can't contend the pace of Wolverhampton, they might get caught in this game, and it's going to be a very tedious test for West Ham United. So I don't see West Ham would able to pick any points from this game unless miracle happens. Um, they get the tactics right, or they can close down the space for not letting Wolverhampton to play their usual game. Um, you know, track down Jimenez or even Traore if any of them starts. So um, West Ham has to get their tactics and their game plan right if they were to get their first 3 points of the season. So I guess it's pretty much straightforward on the paper that Wolverhampton will get this, uh, will see this off in style. So I'm going for a Wolverhampton win or even a surprise draw from West Ham United.
Okay, all right. Vinod, what's your view?
Portugal to win 3-1.
Portugal to win 3-1.
I mean, they had a complete rest for the whole week. They didn't fill out their best team in the EFL Cup, unlike West Ham. And West Ham, Moyes is still on self-isolation. They are coming off a bad patchy form. I don't see them recovering, and it'd be more tough for them to hold on Wolves attacking front three because Samido coming in, we're pushing back to the. I think he's going to start up front, so Adama going to be moved up. 3-1 or 3-0 to Wolves.
3-1 or 3-0 to Wolves. It's a lot of 3-3 here. Are we talking about Chelsea? I wonder. Mark, what is your view on this, Mark?
I also think the way Wolves play and maybe got 3-1, 3-0 to Wolves.
Easy,
They
easy,
play
right?
very fast, yeah, easy, yeah. I think today the Wolves game. Because they lost the first two games, so I'm sure they're out there to prove something to themselves. And it'll be Wolves game today.
Okay. All right. I guess this is kind of like a no-brainer. So let's just get into a game that I guess not many people might be looking forward to over here in Asia, but nonetheless, I think still we need to acknowledge it and some talking points here. Fulham versus Villa. Um, I think I don't know why this is going to be a deadlock. In my view, it's going to be a 0-0. I don't see either team really having a breakthrough in this match. It's going to be one of those annoying matches that if you watch the 90 minutes, you will be like, oh, like that kind of thing. And that's my view. I'm just going to go with a 0-0 here for the Fulham and Villa. And even though I do know that Fulham have got a better, I think, win rate in recent times against Villa. I just feel that with the dynamics that has changed with football, with the pandemic, no fans and all that kind of things, I think it's going to be maybe 0-0 or Fulham might just take it, take a 1-0 win. But I think it's a 0-0. We've got a comment here. Yeah. So Puva, for once, me and Puva agree that Fulham might just nick it. What do you think here, Mark?
Over here, so I'm looking at it. I think it'll be a draw game, either 0-0 or 1-1. But
1-1,
if
yeah.
alternating, yeah, it'll be a draw game, either 0-0 or 1-1.
Yeah, maybe Puva can comment why he thinks Fulham is gonna nick it, and we can post it up here and have a chat about that. Otherwise, Vinod, what is your take on this match?
I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Villa to nick it at 5-3.
5-3. What kind of bookie nonsense is this? This is some bookie nonsense, man. Like,
We saw the last game, Fulham is not defensively, they're not strong as Silent. Same goes with Villa too. But these both teams are just going to come out to kickstart the season and they're just going to attack. And we know they are both.
But that's just insane. Like 5-3. Come on, like.
I mean, let's just give a high scoring game for 1 week. So I assume this is going to be the game. Either you give me a good 5-3 game or it's going to be a very boring, why we watch game 0-0 or 1-1. It's depending on both set of managers if they're going to come out, because both set of teams, if you look at their attacking front threes, attacking players, is better than the opponent's defense. So we are going to see goals if both team decides to go all out. And Fulham is playing at home. They're not going to sit back. Dean Smith might be thinking, these are the games that I need to take the points, not sit back. We might see them being more open, so I foresee goals in this game.
You foresee big goals, really? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Who knows?
Okay. Well, okay then. Okay.
We've been having some big goals games recently, surprisingly, in the last 2 weeks. So this might be one of it.
Yeah. Dave, let's go quickly to Dave and Tom. Dave.
I was very impressed with the way Fulham played against Arsenal in their opening match. They had the tendency to attack. They don't care whether it's Arsenal or whoever it is. They were just playing their best football, but you see, Arsenal was just on top of them. So like you said, I'm gonna go for the similar predictions that you had, Senna. Actually, it's going to be a nil-nil draw or 1-1 draw. But if Fulham has a bit of better football to show, uh, so they might win this.
Yep. So, here's Kuva's response. I think hard to see clean sheets this season. No draw game so far. Good point. Not even one. I know. Considering this is the freaking English Premier League and we don't even
Yes.
have one draw, like it's ridiculous, right? Like I mean, yeah, some teams get penalties after 90 minutes. So how do we get drawn there?
I think it's already in the contract when the referee comes and you need to give a penalty. If not, you're not going out
We'll
alive.
talk about that later. Yeah. That was a penalty.
Agreed with Vinod here. He says he agrees with you. Couple of goals, but he's going to go with Fulham. Izol, what is your take to Puva's comment here?
I will say I disagree with him. I'm gonna go for Villa with a small margin win, 1-0, I think.
Villa, man, like we need people like you and Vinod on this show. Like you guys are going north and south. Like it's ridiculous. Like Villa, really? You think so?
I
It's
think I believe so. Yeah.
wow, really? Yeah.
Because I think Fulham is gonna be another derby country. It's not gonna win any of the game for this season, or maybe 1 or 2 game. So I will go for Villa.
And your score is 1-0?
Yeah, 1-0.
You know, Villa has not kept a clean sheet in like since Liverpool were 6-time champions, right, of Europe.
Yeah, but this time it's again Fulham. Then I think that they're gonna keep their clean sheet for this game.
Okay. All right. Mark, any last last words on this Fulham Villa thing here, especially with this comments here, and with my saying that Villa has not kept a clean sheet. Tom thinks that Villa is still going to nick it 1-0. Wow, what is your take?
Nah, it could be if it draw game, but maybe 1-1 or 2-1 win, but to Villa. So I'll be could be a 1-1 or 2-1 win to someone to Villa.
To Villa.
Yeah, to Villa. So
oh man, we are all getting split on this show. it's ridiculous madness right here, guys. Like wow. So yeah, I think for a game that I said that a lot of Asians may not be paying attention to, I'm quite surprised with the feedback and the review and the views and opinions here. It's really split. We clearly really are fans of English football that much, right?
yeah.
So let's just get into this and just touch base. We're going to cover this on tomorrow's Cop Talk show. Much in a more detailed perspective. We'll probably get Dave and Tom back on that show tomorrow. Tomorrow night we'll probably get it on at about 9:30 or 9:30 p.m. So let's just touch base on this very quickly. I think we're not going to dwell too much on it. Liverpool versus Arsenal. Liverpool's got this whole new look. Liverpool's got Mr. Alcantara in the ranks now. And I know the entire Premier League was fearing that. They were fearing Liverpool securing Alcantara. However, I do not think that's where the league is going to be won. I think I'll have to agree with a lot that has been said earlier. I think all of us have said it. It's going to be ultimately our defense, and I do think that at Liverpool, at the back four, the back lineup, it's that there's a huge disparity and gap between what Van Dijk is capable of. And the others trying to gel with him and the others trying to keep up with him. during the match. It's really easier said than done, and I think there is a little bit of struggle right there. Even in the League Cup the other day, we should not have let those 2 goals go in, but it happened nonetheless. Even with with the influence of Van Dijk and the influence of Fabinho playing just in front of him and those kind of things. So I like I said, getting Alcantara into the team was very essential after securing the Premier League title. I think if we did not get such a buy, it would have been. It would have been fine. In all honesty, we Liverpool fans have had chats after chats after chats, and we've come to a conclusion, myself included, that we had the winning team. Football is not really changing so much across this 1-2 seasons. The other teams are the ones that have to prove a point and try to do better than Liverpool. And but to get Alcantara was a huge statement. But I don't think Alcantara alone is gonna take us to any silverware. So it's got to be the team really gelling and the back four really doing their job and getting clean sheets in and defending where it counts, and upsetting attacking moments, attacking build-ups properly. Playing the offside traps properly, which I think we're not 100% just yet. So I think this game, everybody has said it that the last 2 matches, Arsenal has edged us. Although the stats were with us, the results went with them. So this is what I've always contended with, and I've always said that do we really have what it takes to really shut out teams? That needs to be shut out in games. I'm really mixed about this. I do think that we're not going to keep a clean sheet. I think this game is probably going to be maybe a 2-2 draw, if not a 2-1 to Liverpool. That's my best estimate and assumption right now. Let's hear it from the two United guys over here to get a very opposing or neutral view on it. Mark, do you want to go first?
Okay. As a football fan, I think it'll be a Liverpool game. But as a United fan, I'm hoping for an Arsenal win. That's my view.
But being frank and being very objective based on team performance going into the game, options
Liverpool.
on the roster. What is you?
I think Liverpool still has the edge over Arsenal. Although Arsenal has been playing quite well the last few games with Arteta. But I think Liverpool is still a more all-rounded game, and you can even put Thiago on the bench and bring him out later to open up the Arsenal defense if they can't break through. But I think it'll be an Arsenal game. A Liverpool game.
All right.
I'm hoping for Arsenal to upset them.
They did it twice already, bro. So
I know, yes. Let's hope. Come on, Arsenal.
Vinod.
I think this game has always promises goals. Free flowing football. Sad to say, you guys will win 4-2. I mean, with Thiago coming in, it's a no-brainer signing. To be honest, you just have one person who can come in. Just say you don't start Thiago, keep him on bench. He's going to come in just under any defense. That was a plan B that you didn't have last season with Jota and Thiago. Perfect signings, and we saw how good Fabinho was last week, deputizing at centre back. It's
right there.
Team to stop, team to beat, and it's Liverpool's like a complete puzzle there. Arsenal is still trying to get things right. They have attacking teams, they have attacking play, but the team is still not there yet. So I guess it's going to be a high-scoring game, 4-2. Your defense is still leaking goals. Van Dijk has already been accused of being arrogant. Let's see if he continues to slip up or not.
Okay. All right. So now let's go to our boys here. Let's go with Dave. Let's keep it simple, Dave.
Let's keep it
2
simple.
minutes.
2 minutes.
Thiago Alcantara. It's a good signing, no-brainer signing. Like what Vinod said. Hope that he will definitely start due to uh, uh, Henderson is down injured, and I think last week we saw that Fabinho was deputizing the centre back. He was putting up a great lump and zest in that back line together with the Big Virgil. So this is going to be a very interesting game, and Klopp had said that Arsenal looks a very interesting team, looking like a very interesting team, and he always shows that humbleness even before any matches to any other teams. He has a lot of respects for Arteta for what they have done. Um, the last match we played in Emirates and in at Wembley, so he would have had a bit of idea, a bit of lesson how Arsenal would have played the game. So I guess playing at Anfield, like Vino said, a team to beat. Uh, so I don't see I don't see Liverpool giving up on this, and they will march on. So it's going to be a 2-0, 3-1 win for Liverpool.
All right. Seems pretty fair right there. Let's go to my man, Mr. Tom.
If I have to pick one team that I am afraid that can beat Liverpool for this season, I will choose Arsenal. So what I can say, even though Liverpool looks very strong in the forward, but I would say that the other team that can beat them should be Arsenal, because they have Aubameyang and also what we call Lacazette. So these two partnership is really deadly. Even though that we have a very good defenders, which is Van Dijk, and also currently we use Fabinho as a centre back, but I think both of them can upset Liverpool even in the Anfield, even at the Anfield. So again, that I hope that this game gonna be end for a draw or very small margin win for Liverpool, 1-0 or 0-0, 0-0.
As you can see, I am actually with Tom right there. I have been fearing Arsenal for so long. Like I said, the reason why people and a lot of people do not understand why I have been fearing Arsenal, because the clinical has been them. They've got those guys up front there who can be clinical.
Yeah,
And
2 against 17.
sorry, say again.
2 against 17.
Exactly. So the statistics will always be with us. I'm sure it's going to be like that. We're still going to be controlling the game, but clinicality, we need to be clinical, right? And a lot of teams out there, they only need 2 chances, 3 chances to get 2 goals, 3 goals. They're really good at converting, and Liverpool are really, sometimes too good to be true when they are playing against a lot of teams in the Premier League. But if they do not convert, it is all for nothing. And that has always been my fear. I've never said that Arsenal is the better team at this point. They can potentially be, potentially they can be. They need to get a lot of things right first, but they're still not the better team, perhaps. However, they are a team that we need to be worried about if we are not taking our job. If we're having an off day, and by an off day, meaning that, 25 chances and scoring one. That's an off day. If we're having an off day, we better not be giving them two chances. You know what I mean? Because they're going to take those. So that is my view. I guess a lot of people are in favor of a Liverpool win. On paper, it does seem that way, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. We're just gonna have to wait and see, right? So let's get into this right now. Let's get into this very quickly. I think we've got 20 minutes left on the show. We're just going to review three matches. We're not going to review so many matches, but of course, the one that we really want to talk about is right here, and that's Brighton versus Man United yesterday. Yeah, we all know the VAR rule is that if the offense happened before 90 minutes, you can go and review it. So I've heard that Liverpool are reviewing the offside versus City that happened in 2014. We might be declared champions right now for the 2014 because it happened during 90 minutes. Anyway, just joking. I think Dave will be leaving us shortly. Dave, I think we can wrap it up and review the three matches before you go. But do you want to take a whack at this very quickly?
I think like what Vinod said, that the problem starts from the from the defensive line itself. Uh, I guess there's a sort of harmony, unity, and the synchronization. It's just not happening for United or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the moment. Um, they were brilliant after the restart in last season. They couldn't find the fit at the moment, but you see, like for me, it's something new that you are getting a penalty rewarded after a final whistle. I mean, I've never seen this before in any of the leagues happening. If anyone has thought on this, they can actually let me know, because I've not seen anything happen like that before in football, or not even in the World Cup, or not even in the Euros. So
But as what Karami said, Manchester United is always modernizing the game. So, hey, they have modernized it yet again.
exactly. So I felt that United just had that uh, uh, um, the zest to just get the points, get the season up and running, because they just had a horrible start of the season at Old Trafford. So this is sort of a claim for them. I mean, um, if they can get the tweak between their tacticals and game plan right in the next coming games, um, I mean, if they can, they can pump in the money for crazy Sancho fee. Why not? So uh, we'll see what goes for United this season. But I think on the other side, Brighton under Darren Potter, they played quite an interesting football. Very pacey team. They just get the bodies uh, on the front, and they don't have sort of fear to attack anyone. They get the goals. I mean, these guys have a very good future in Premier League, but you just need that sort of quality and a bit of world class in the team. So if they can get a few signings in January, so I think Brighton might just do a little bit better than last season. So for me, United, like Vinod said, try to get um, a different combination in the defensive line, and you know you should play a more a different system or tactical, or you want to play up front four or fat four, you want to play uh, double pivot of the two defensive midfield, and just get the rest up. So you just throw in everything that he should, and to get United season up and running.
Izol, before we go to Mark and Vinod as the view from their own United's own fans over here. Izol, do you want to say anything objectively? Let's drop the banter. Let's drop the banter. Let's just go into it objectively.
Actually, I'm going to talk about the VAR, but since you say that I cannot use do enter, so then I was.
What do you want to say about the VAR? You go ahead then.
Okay. It's okay to use the VAR, but we cannot abuse it. So currently, Manchester United has abused it. So for me, that off the banter, then what the lack of Manchester United is actually is in the midfield side. It's not in the defensive side because they have a great defenders and also the fullback. So what is missing from their squad is right now is the defensive midfielder. So there is a few United fan that said to me that if Matic will play, then they will win the game. So even though I didn't go through the stat, but when I watch the game, when Matic is on the game, then I can see that their defense is better than the other games, except for the yesterday's game. So for me, what they lack is not defenders, but they lack the defensive side, but their lack is in the midfield side. So like you said, you also agree that Pogba is not good enough to be a defensive midfielder. So then you need to be brave, just sell it and just sell him, and then try to get a very decent defensive midfielder, and then I think United will go back to the track, become one of the best team in England, but still not as good as Liverpool.
Let's leave the Izol and me and Karami always have banter with our boys about this Liverpool and and similar to how I have it with Vinod and Mark. But that's the interesting point of view. I think you've got someone here looking at the defense, not completely the problem. Looking at players like Pogba also as a problem, which I have objectively been saying that you guys don't need that guy. I would go with I would put my money on shaping Harry Maguire to become somebody of substance in the team in the long run, instead of putting any faith or hope in Pogba anymore. Or even at all from the start. But Pogba is no Zlatan lah. Let's be frank here. He's not a Zlatan. He tries to carry himself like he is some sort of Zlatan, but hey, you ain't that. So that is my take. So Vinod and Mark, who wants to go first? Mark, do you wanna let it loose, Mark?
Okay, about this Pogba, that's why Ferguson sold him off. Knew his attitude already. Ferguson is like, even you're playing Beckham or what, but your attitude is not for the team, you're out of the door. So I'm not sure why they're keeping him. They can just, maybe they can't sell him at a high value now, because they got Van der Beek and Bruno Fernandes and Pogba, which all actually plays in a very similar role. So I rather you sell Pogba, get some money in, and buy a proper defensive mid. I mean, Matic is good, but he's also at 31, 32. Or you can actually save money and get Colibé to partner Harry Maguire in the defense. Okay, but anyway, about the yesterday's game, to me, Brighton should have won it by 6-3. They were actually a very, very good team. If you count the time they hit the post and how many times they went through the defense like there was nothing, especially on the right-hand side, on Wan-Bissaka side, which I don't blame Wan-Bissaka because he was covering Lindelof's place. Lindelof was going in too much. And that's why you can see time and time again, they were attacking from that side. And I knew a goal was going to come for them already. And when they had a draw, to me, it was deserved for Brighton after how well they played. And it was just unlucky that at the last minute we managed to get a penalty. But that's football for you.
Yep. No
Yeah.
doubt. I think, like
Especially
I
the
said,
VAR. Yeah.
yeah. I mean the VAR part. It's taking the you know how it used to be when that game would have stopped at 2-2. We'll be talking about it the whole week. But the
Yeah,
fact
yeah.
that But the fact that now we'll be talking about both the teams for the whole week, both the teams. But now the whole week we'll be talking about VAR. You know what? It's taken out of football. It's taken the real essence
Yeah.
out of football, and
It-
it is
No,
something
but
really,
please,
really.
even Brighton had the VAR on their side. So if you talk about that penalty they got, so not Brighton, sorry, the previous game, when Lindelof was running and the ball just brushed his hand. So
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
you
yeah,
won't get a penalty that, and they reviewed the guy jumping off the line before the ball, which
yeah,
all of them
yeah.
miss. Yeah. So it's different things. Sometimes we get the VAR, sometimes other teams get the VAR.
Yeah, so I just feel that VAR is taking out the sweetness in football is just being soured out by
Yeah.
VAR. We've got a comment here by Pova. End of the day, 3 points matters the most. United were awful. I'm sorry. There are days that United play super football, and I'll be the first guy to praise them. There. And I get whacking by my Liverpool fans for doing that. But I'm like, hey, give credit where it's due. But it was awful yesterday. Totally awful. Throwing extra defender to protect the lead in dying seconds, but still end up conceding, sums it up. Just not good enough at the moment. I agree with that at the moment right there. I think there is potential to really build on something. I think overall, your midfield issues are one thing with Pogba. Your defense are one thing, guys. I do think that Ole's got to go. The fact that Ole is getting more face time with the board compared to David Moyes is had, and with his record in England back then, it's perplexing. It's perplexing to me. But anyway, Vinod, Puva's comment right here. What's your view on it?
It was a disaster game for Manu. We were awful. I mean, even awful is an understatement, I would say. Completely off. Brighton played like Manchester United. Manchester United played like Brighton. That just sums up yesterday's game. And we were lucky to go off with a winner. I mean, let's not talk about that penalty. Brighton could have just easily won this game 7-2 or 7-3. They were attacking all out. United was just clueless. And you send in a defender to defend a league goal. United playing with three centre backs. Doesn't make sense at all. Against Brighton, we are not talking against the likes of Liverpool, City, or Arsenal. Against Brighton, you can't even hold a lead. I mean, look at the amount span of your back line. You say we have one of the best keepers, one of the best midfielders, Pogba. The team is just directionless. And there has to be changes if you look for United from the top to below. I still feel De Gea has to go. De Gea, despite being one of the most senior players, does not command his back line. You don't need to be the best shot stopper, but you need a keeper that can command your back line, organize your defense. That is what we need. We don't have that. You come to your defense. Okay, what he wants to achieve, I understand. Flying fullbacks. But your centre backs don't make it. Our central midfield is off. Van der Beek, good signing, but also does not make signings because you can't put Pogba, Van der Beek, and Bruno playing the same team. Who's going to be your defense? Especially when you got Lindelof and Maguire at the back, no pace. And Pogba doesn't do well tracking back. So when you pair him with Matic against pacey teams, we are off. Wan-Bissaka, okay, remember Maldini used to quote, I don't need to tackle the player. When you need to tackle means you have already did a defensive mistake. We have been talking so much about Bissaka doing defensive recovery. Also means he has been in the off positions for many times, but he's able to track back. In his off form days, if he's not able to track back, that goes. Up front, also is a problem. If you look, Rashford, Martial Greenwood best when they're on form, they're good days. But they three can't really link up. If Marshall, it's very simple. He gets tied up, he gets man marked, can't move away, don't get the first two good shots, his game is off. And he's not someone that moves around the line or anything. Rashford also depends. So I mean, basically, Core comes back, there is no leadership there. And you look at Ole next, things go wrong. You know your first 11 is not performing. Your changes, your substitutions is 1-1. You don't change your tactics, you don't change your players. So what are we looking at this team? I mean, I've been saying for some time, United is not there. I mean, we're still living in denial. We assume we are coming there, especially after post-COVID, with the results, people thought we are going to come back. Not for this season. They need to change, and I got to agree with you, Ole needs to go. Because there's no plan B. Okay, you look, how does Maguire start after the Greece incident?
Yeah.
How does Lindelof start after a poor performance against Crystal Palace? How does Pogba start after a poor performance inside? And it's just players perform badly but doesn't get hold off. He waits until the 70th minute, 80th minute to change players. Why do you wait for so long? It's like Ole doesn't have a tactic. I put my best 11. You guys go out there and just use your brains and win the game for me. I trust you guys. That's all.
Mark, I just want to go hear what Vinod is saying. Do you think Ole is under pressure to play the big names because of the club status and that kind of thing, their seniority and is there some sort of a commercial angle here because of the money that's involved and the name stature of these players? Do you think that's what's happening there?
And that's happening because he should have hauled Pogba out in the 50th or 60th minute and put Van der Beek in instead. Because you saw how the game changed when Van der Beek was in, but that was too late already. You should have hauled off Pogba. Even Martial wasn't doing well. You should have hauled off Martial also and change the system. And what was Lindelof in when you had Bailey on the bench? To me, I prefer Bailey. He's more robust tackle and he can cover the right side. So I still don't get it. Why was Pogba in for so long until the 70th minute they took him out? But he should not have been there in the first place. When they played so well in the last game, Van der Beek should be ahead of Pogba now to show Pogba that no matter who you are, as long as you don't perform, you don't start the game. But at the moment, the way I'm seeing things also, those who are not performing are getting the starts. While those who perform, like Van der Beek, he was on the bench. So it's not fair. He should know better since he was under Ferguson that it's not about the name, it's about the player itself. How they play for the team and how they perform. Pogba was practically invisible on the pitch that day. I hardly saw him in the pitch. He did not cover the help to cover or even track back for the ball yesterday. Martial kept losing the ball in good positions so many times. If it's not for Rashford, we would have actually not even scored a goal there. Okay. Actually, Bruno was doing quite well.
If you were leading, making decisions for the club today, who's the first person you would remove? Is it a player and who, or is it Ole?
I will remove Pogba first. Try to get him off the books. Because what you also said, we have three players that play in the same position. They're all good players. I mean, you got Pogba, you got Bruno, you got Van der Beek. But Pogba for the last 3 seasons has not played up to expectations. So I would sell him off first. I mean, he's only 27, 28. You can get some good money for him. Maybe not how much he paid for, but probably about 76, 80 million. Then get him and invest in other parts of the team. Why wasn't McTominay in also? McTominay is quite good at a defensive mid.
My goodness, yeah. Actually, you make a very...
Matic and McTominay in the defense and let Bruno in front supply the passes to the strikers in front. McTominay didn't go on the pitch. Yeah.
You make a very, very good point. I don't even understand that part. Where was McTominay in the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. You guys, there's another comment here. Pathetic to watch. Hopefully, there will be some changes soon. We really feel for this. Like I said, we are pretty spot that banter and all that, but we're pretty spotting. It's really god awful to see what's going on over there. You guys, what play Spurs next?
Yeah.
Is that right?
That will be interesting. Yep.
Yeah, Spurs next.
Six.
Yeah.
First six.
But Spurs is going on the road to Old Trafford, and I think that might be in your favor, considering that Bale is all still out, so it's probably the right time to play Spurs.
We lost, but let's not forget.
Sorry, say again.
We lost in Old Trafford to Palace.
That's Palace, but I think you're playing Spurs, aren't you? So Spurs, right?
Yeah, we're playing Spurs.
Yeah.
Even we can't get past Palace. What talk about Spurs? We couldn't even get past Brighton. They were VR to help us. Forget Spurs. That's another difference coming in. I mean, we are just riding on good lucks, to be very honest. That's why people are not seeing the overall pictures. But the team needs to change.
Yeah.
We need to change directions. They need to have. We are taking too much of shortcuts.
Yep. Definitely.
That's the downfall.
We'll probably cover probably on next week's show. We'll cover a preview for United Spurs. I think it's one of the later kickoffs on Sunday, so hopefully we can cover that next week. Hopefully I can get Vinod and Mark back on the show, and it's a preview for a change. So we go in a bit more optimistic instead of this dull and sour things that we're getting right now. Let's get into the final review for the day. We will be moving the SUAREZ saga to the next show. I don't think we've got time for it. Very quickly, WBA. God, what happened yesterday? 3-0 halftime, and the underdog Chelsea.
They were just on fire.
Yeah, Dave, go on.
They. I mean, it's an unexpected approach by Slavan Bilic against tons of millions of money team Chelsea. So it's a shock to see how Thiago Silva actually slipped. I just seen the way West Brom, were up on Chelsea. I mean, they just got the results in the first half, but I think they were just caught napping in the second half. Chelsea, I mean Lampard, I think he just got his tweaks on the tactics, or I mean he made a few changes, and the changes actually brought them the goals. I mean, it was the game was an end to end, and it was just fun to watch. And there's a lot of talking points about Chelsea over here, but I think we don't have time for that for now. So Chelsea has a long way to go in the Premier League this season.
I personally think that this is not. It's too early to tell. You never know whether they can recover. This is the Premier League. This is the English Premier League. A lot of things can happen. Anything can happen. But I don't know whether Izzo's going to say the same thing about Chelsea here like he did about Spurs. But I do think Chelsea will recover. They will finish in the top 5 at the very least. They have enough quality, millions and millions of dollars worth of quality to recover. That it's a no-brainer there. I'm going to be very interested in seeing whether Lampard survives the first 10-15 games, whether if the results don't go in his favor, are the club really going to pull the plugs on Lampard? Because I think they've invested too much on the players that nothing's going to happen there. They're going to have put faith in better managerial skills and bank on the money they've spent. But I wonder whether Lampard's going to be there. So I think I did not expect great performances by Chelsea just yet. Let's see later.
Mind you, Senna, Pochettino is still jobless.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Nick is saying, yeah, Chelsea fans, Werner and the new signings need more time. Thiago.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you do not compare wizards and humans, right? Wizards can do magic, and some people are just human. Izul, wow, what's your take?
Well, to be honest, I didn't watch the game yesterday. So, but I've been expecting this because of the player that's been brought in by Lampard is mostly a top player that need time to blend in. So since the Lampard is, for me, Frank Lampard is not, is he is a good manager, but he is not experienced manager. So for him to be able being able to make the team play smoothly, and you can see the game. I only watched one game, which is against Liverpool, and we can see that they're not playing very well, and their passing rate is quite slow, and it will take time. So then maybe I will say I agree with you, Senna. The Chelsea will be in top 5 or top 6 this season.
All right. Mr. Mark.
I also actually didn't catch that game, but I do agree with Tom. Yeah, it'll take time for Havertz and the other guy to perform, but give Chelsea time. I think they'll be there. They have good squad, if you ask me, a good all round squad. So give them a bit of time. The new players coming in, I think they did a good job in the transfer window because they did it all quietly and just went and bought all these guys in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I do think I'm actually looking for the sentiment here that people do think that Chelsea will be doing all right towards the end of the season. Yeah. We know what do you think?
I mean, look at the positive part. Positive part, Chelsea came out and draw the game. West Brom attacked, they came back on second half. So these are the kind of the luck that will help them sustain come end season, because the team has not gelled, no tactical understanding yet, but they're nicking out results. So if Lampard's able to get Kai Havertz, Werner, all to be a formidable team, Chelsea will be there end of the season. And end of the day, yesterday we could see their old boys helped them. It was 2 good goals from Mount and Hudson-Odoi. But defensively, Chelsea was disaster, despite Silva being in. So let's see once Chilwell comes back. But Lampard needs to sort out his defensive partnership. There has to be 2 centre-backs that he trusts. This chop and change all the time will hurt the team. This team, he has to get the team to perform within the 10 matches like we spoke before. If he does not, he will be in a chopping board because of the money spent. The pressure on Havertz and Werner has not delivered yet. But if they don't do it soon, the price will be on the back of them, media will be back of them, and Lampard will be feeling the pressure. So the time is not on his side, to be very honest.
Yeah, so I really do think that I'm worried about Lampard not going to be surviving through even half the season. Yeah, I'm really having those worries. I'm not so worried about Chelsea where they're going to finish, because it's either he gets it right and they pull up to the top 5 positions, or if he doesn't get it right, he's going to get the sack. They're going to get a manager that is actually of caliber and can manage such large qualities, because they're a bit more experienced than Lampard. And I do think that should that happen, a manager is going to come in and they're going to take them all the way to the top 5 anyway.
But I have
So
a
that is
feel Lampard might go this season, might get sacked, he might end up in West Ham.
I agree with you.
There seems to be a possibility there, because
West Ham. Yeah.
Well, are you saying that he's going back home?
Yes. Moyes is the favorite not to get sacked. So if the job, foresee him going there.
I think Lampard's still a good manager, and I think while going back to West Ham paints a nice picture in terms of a nice story and fairy tale and all that kind of things. But I think there will be other teams that may want him to be there that are probably higher than West Ham. So I'm going to say that he either survives and sticks with Chelsea, and hopefully the board gives him enough backing and time. For example, like how Ole has got at United, being the big money clubs. I do hope that is something that both these clubs have in common. Backing their managers are something important. But I don't think it's I don't I would like that West Ham thing to happen should he get the boot, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I think there will be other teams, out there gunning for him. Okay, I think we've come to the end of the show. Again, we've gone over 10 minutes as usual. We should have ended at 7:30. So that's it. I just wanted to say thanks. I think the Leeds, Sheffield and Leeds match is going on now. It's gone almost 40 minutes. I think it's still 0-0. Yeah, I think it's still 0-0. So I think Arvin and the entire Leeds guys are watching it over there and wherever they are, and hoping for a breakthrough to happen soon. There'll be a lot of matches coming on tonight. Liverpool's playing tomorrow night or Tuesday morning. We will be having the Cop Talk show tomorrow. I hope to see Tom and Dave there on the Cop Talk show. That should be fun. We're going to try to get some good Arsenal fans on and have some good debate and banter. So thank you to Mark, Vinod, Dave, and Tom for joining us today. For everybody watching, thank you so much. Please do follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment and share. This is a show by the fans and for everyone. Tomorrow on the Cup Talk show, I'm hoping to get somebody from the UK to join us as well, to get some perspective from the UK, and versus our Asian perspective. That should be insightful. So it should be fun. We'll get back on Footy Talk, I guess, again over the next week or ahead of the weekend matches. So thank you very much for everyone watching. Mark, this is us signing off. Mark, Tom, Vinod, and Dave.
Ciao.
I'll see you guys around. Have a good evening, you guys.
Well, right.
Bye.
Bye.